Chris Haney represents the second generation to play Major League Baseball in the Haney family. His father, Larry, had a very long and successful Major League career as a player and a coach. Chris was born in Baltimore, Maryland in 1968, and his father was completing his first year with the Orioles. Chris played 3 sports at Orange County High School, but he excelled in baseball. He helped lead the Hornets baseball team to 2 Battlefield District championships in his junior and senior years. They were also Region 2 runner-ups both years. Chris went 8-1 his junior year with a 1.86 earned run average, while batting for a .358 average. Chris was 11-0 his senior year. He pitched 73 innings and had 162 strikeouts, an incredible 0.00 earned run average. He was also named first-team All-Region 2 left fielder. Chris had an 18-1 record in his junior and senior years. Chris was a Double-A Player of the Year in 1987.
After a stellar high school career, Chris earned a scholarship to play baseball at the University of North Carolina in Charlotte. While playing for the 49ers, he was named All-Conference in 1989 and 1990. He is still the program's all-time leader with 20 complete games. In 1990, Chris was selected in the second round of the MLB draft by the Montreal Expos. After just a little over 1 year in the minors, he made his Major League debut with the Expos. He pitched for the Expos for 1.5 years. He was traded to the Kansas City Royals in August of 1992. Chris pitched for the Royals for 6 years. His best year was in 1996 when he had a 10-14 record with a 4.67 earned run average. Chris pitched with the Chicago Cubs in 1998, the Cleveland Indians in 1999 and 2000, and finished his career with the Boston Red Sox in 2002. Chris played Major League Baseball in Japan for the Fukuyama Dai Hawks in 2001. Chris ended his career with a 38-52 one-loss record with 442 strikeouts and a 5.07 earned run average, and a place in baseball history, giving up Wade Boggs' 3,000th hit.
What got you started in baseball?
I actually started as a real young kid, growing up on a farm in Barboursville, and 2 older brothers, and we threw the ball around. My dad enjoyed the game, and basically it just, like most kids today that play Little League, that's how I got started in baseball.
If you could play a different position, what would it have been?
You mean in baseball? I probably would have played third base.
Who was your favorite player in baseball?
My favorite player in baseball, golly, there was so many of them that I played with. I think Brooks Robinson may have been one of my favorite, but my 2 favorite when I was coaching in Milwaukee was Robin Yount and Paul Molitor.
What team did you most enjoy playing for?
I think the first team that I came to the big leagues with, the Baltimore Orioles, because of the guys that were there with Robinson and Palmer and Frank Robinson and a group of guys there, that was my first organization.
Which coach did you enjoy most playing for?
Alvin Dark, who managed the 74-75 Oakland A's.
What was the worst part of being a professional baseball player?
I think the travel, being away from home, not having the opportunity to see your kids play baseball or other sports, because I was gone from February to October basically, which is the length of the baseball season.
What were the best and worst aspects of minor league baseball?
I think the worst aspect was the travel, being on the buses for hours, playing in old ballparks with bad lights. I think the best was getting to know your teammates, guys that you know, it was like a big family, and the opportunity to play a game that you love playing.
What were the differences in hitting in the minor leagues opposed to the major leagues?
Well, there's a big difference there. The quality arms in the big leagues You know, the more of power arms, the fastballs, the breaking balls, the command that the pitchers in the big leagues have with the strike zone.
Did you witness any segregation during your baseball career?
I did my first year when I played. I came from this area, from Orange County, and wasn't, you know, segregation wasn't a big thing with me, but when we played in West Virginia and Kentucky, the black athletes and the black ball players had to stay in different hotels, and that was the first time that I had ever witnessed that.
What did you do in the off season?
I played winter ball in Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Dominican. Worked for UPS a couple winters basically, and I guess just getting to know my family a little more because I was gone so much during the season.
What were the best and worst parts of being a coach?
I think the best part was being able to still work around the game that you loved. I enjoyed going to the ballpark and working with the players. I don't think there was a really worst part.
Who was the fastest pitcher you ever caught?
Oh, golly. Maybe Vita Blue out in Oakland, Jim Palmer in Baltimore, two of the fastest that I caught.
If you could pick any player that you were associated with as a professional baseball player to be a role model for young people, who would it be?
I think it would be Robin Yount, the player from Milwaukee who played the game, played hard, ran everything out, was a really good teammate, a good guy when I was coaching. Just an all-around guy, a good family man. That would be my choice.
What would you say to the highlight of your career?
Oh, golly, I think the first time that I had a chance to play in Yankee Stadium was one of the highlights, and the other highlight was when I got a chance to see my son pitch in the big leagues.
And start. What age did you start playing baseball?
Probably started playing organized baseball 8 or 9 years old. We spent a lot of time traveling, following Dad around, so didn't really get into the Little League thing until 8 or 9.
What was the best highlight of your career?
Well, pitching for the first time in the big leagues is pretty cool. I was in Cincinnati, threw a no-hitter in Yankee Stadium, threw a complete game shutout in Yankee Stadium. That was pretty cool.
Who had the biggest impact on your career?
My dad.
Who was your favorite player when you were young, and why was he your favorite player?
Robin Yount. Probably started being old enough to kind of understand the game a little bit, 10, 11 years old. Dad got traded or signed with Milwaukee, and we got to see a young kid, you know, 19, 20, 21 years old maybe, that just did everything the right way. And he was easy to kind of look up to.
What motivated you to start playing baseball?
Well, I mean, we grew up in a baseball family, so we were always around the game. Had a great passion for it, and just it's like every other kid, just wanted to play.
What was the worst part of being a professional baseball player?
The travel, being away from your family. That's tough. It's a lot harder than people think it is.
What were your pregame rituals? Were you suspicious?
I wasn't that bad, but I probably wore the same, underclothes. Definitely found a glove that I felt like worked and wore that the same, stuck with that as long as it was working. We showed up to the park at the same time when you were throwing. You ate the same, similar foods the day that you were throwing. So I guess to some degree it was a ritual, but it wasn't so locked into it that I had to have the exact same meal every time. But it would usually eat pasta, usually eat some type of chicken, try to get loaded up for the game.
What team or coach did you most enjoy playing for?
Kansas City's a great town. So it wasn't the first team that I played with, but I really enjoyed the town of Kansas City. Enjoyed playing there. They're great fans. As far as coach, my last year in the big leagues, I played for a guy named Grady Little, who's an absolute hoot, and just was fun every day at the ballpark with him.
Did you prefer starting or relieving?
I always said starting in the big leagues as a pitcher is one of the best gigs out there. You're going to throw once every fifth day. You know what day you're throwing. You have a routine that you can prepare for going through the process. It's fun to pitch in the big leagues one way or the other, but as a reliever, you never know what's going to happen that day. You know, as a starter, I know I'm throwing Sunday, then I'm throwing Friday, then I'm throwing, you know, Wednesday. There's a nice benefit to that.
If you could choose another position, what would it be?
I'm left-handed, so I'm a little bit limited. I enjoyed first base, you know, when I got to play first base in college. It's something to be said for being able to play every day. So as a pitcher, I think that's what we all want to do is, you know, be able to hit, because we all think we can hit.
If you could pick any player that you were associated with as a professional baseball player to be a role model for young people, who would it be and why?
You know, there's a lot of good players in the game, a lot of good guys in the game. A guy I played with, most people know, George Brett was pretty good. He was not only a good player, but he played the game really, really hard. Wasn't the fastest guy, but he always ran as hard as he could to first base. Phenomenal hitter. Great player. I don't like the Yankees, but I got to say probably Derek Jeter as well. Played the game the right way. You have to respect that.
What would you say was the highlight of your career?
The first start, you know, getting to the big leagues and having your first start. I mean, I had some games that I threw really well. I had some games that I didn't throw well. First start's a big deal. It's something that you work so hard towards that dream and trying to fulfill it, and then you get there and, you know, you're finally getting to pitch on the big stage. That's a really cool day.
What is your best memory of Prospect Heights?
Wow. You know, I tell all the kids I deal with in baseball all the time, my favorite day of the year was always the first day of practice. You know, we seem to wait. And I played the other sports, but baseball was really my thing. It's what I really enjoyed. You know, I love the teachers here. I love the time that I had. You know, some of the teachers I still remember clearly. But that first day of baseball practice is always a pretty cool day for me.